Hello everybody, Happy New Year! This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and you are listening to Target Audience Magazine and Better Be Sharp.
Hi everyone, this is Barry from Target Audience Magazine and Better Be Sharp here today at Milkboy in Philadelphia with Ron Bumblefoot Thal. You might know him from the bands Sons of Apollo and Asia, amongst other acclaimed acts. And Ron, how are you doing today?
Good. It's the first show of 2020.
Yeah.
Jumping right in.
Have you ever been to the Milkboy before?
I have not, but I used to be a Milkboy.
Really?
No.
Okay. We're off to a grand start.
Edit.
So, tonight's show that you're performing is a Storyteller show, so I was kind of curious. I've heard of VH1 Storytellers, and...
It's kind of like that, just it's not on VH1 and there's not a lot of storytelling. It's pretty much, it's just, I'm on stage doing some crazier guitar stuff to backing tracks, talking a little ball breaking with the audience. I might tell a story or two. But it's not the kind of thing where I play a song and then I talk for 10 minutes about the song, nothing like that. It's way more songs. It's a concert with a little bit of personal banter in there. That's the best way to describe it. It's an evening with, we can call it.
An evening with Bumblefoot.
Sure.
Why?
Dinner, dancing.
I guess why call
Walk
it
on the beach.
Storyteller concert tour?
Well, in case I tell some stories.
Just cover
This
all
way,
your bases.
Yeah. This way, people know that I might tell stories.
And also on this tour, you have some merchandise you're selling. Amongst that is some very interesting products, such as hot sauces. Yes,
this is the first time I am publicly appearing at Milkboy in 2020 with my hot sauces. These hot sauces go back to 2013. I rolled them out. Started making them in 2012. And in January of 2013, rolled out a line of 6 hot sauces. They ended up winning awards at food festivals and everything. They did really well. And then last year, the company that I was going through that was pretty much doing everything. They were doing the manufacturing, the distribution. They were handling all of that stuff for me. And they sold the company. Turns out they sold it to the distributor who is now my distributor for the hot sauces. What I did is last year, I, through my own food company, relaunched these hot sauces, taking the most popular 3 that people took to the most. And now I have a line of 3 sauces through Bumblefoot Foods, LLC, my food company. And I have a distributor, I have a manufacturer, I got the people doing the labels, I'm getting more and more resellers and co-distributors around the world, and just getting it out there, and just burning insides, one inside at a time. Yes.
Right, and the distributor is Hot Shots Hot Sauces?
That is the company, yeah.
Yeah. I went to their website earlier today, which is hotshots.inc. I couldn't figure out whether you can actually order them through there. I know they still sell them on cajohns.com?
Yeah, K-Johns. So, since K-Johns was the original company that put out the hot sauces and they were selling at K-Johns, and since the distributor now owns K-Johns, they've taken over that company and it's part of just what they do. So we're still selling them now at K-Johns. So internally, it was just a year of re-coordinating everything, but externally, it just looks the same. It's like, hey, they're back on kjohns.com. So if you go to kjohns.com, actually, I made a little short link. If you scroll down and look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see it scrolling across in the bright pink neon lettering.
This is going to go great in the audio interview.
Exactly.
But yeah, we will put a link to the hot sauces.
For now, it has to be bright pink and neon. So it's the link is you go po.st/hot sauce, and it'll take you right to the page on K-Johns with my sauces, and that's where you can get them.
And let's talk a little bit about those hot sauces, because you mentioned there's 3 award-winning hot sauces.
2 of them won awards. One of them was too hot to enter into any awards. Yeah.
Too hot to handle.
Too hot to handle.
All right, and those are the Sauce, Bumblelicious, and Bumblefucked.
Correct. So, the sauce. It is an everything, everyday, all-purpose. Take all the other sauces off your table and keep this one on there from morning till night. From your morning eggs to your late night eggs to your midday eggs, to all the eggs you're eating throughout the day, as well as your Mexican food, Italian food. It has Mediterranean herbs that cross over and work with all kinds of foods. Goes great with Greek food, Lebanese food. Goes great with Thai food, goes great with Indian food. It really does go great with everything. I wanted a sauce that was so delicious and just something that you will want to eat with everything, your go-to everything sauce. And it is called The Sauce. So that is it, Bumblefoot's The Sauce. And then when you want something barbecuey and zesty with cherries and bourbon and chipotle, like a great barbecue-ish kind of sauce, goes great on chicken, it goes great in stir fry, it goes great on veggies, it goes great on barbecue. Also goes great on everything. I've seen people drink this stuff right from the bottle, for real. That one, it's more than delicious. It's Bumblicious! And Barry laughs. So, yeah, and then the hottest of the hot. This one you really have to use with caution. Literally just a dot. If you're having a bowl of food, 1 drop. It is that potent. This is serious chemistry, serious science going on here. When it first touches you, wherever it's touching, it all tingles, hopefully your mouth, and it's just tingling all over the place. And you count to 10. And as soon as you reach 10, it's like someone opens an oven door in the back of your mouth. And the heat just stays there, and they don't close the door, and it's just staying and staying and staying. You're wondering when it's going to stop, and it doesn't. And after a good minute, you're doing this sort of stiff-armed penguin walk, breathing heavily, going, and that lasts for a good 10 minutes. And that means you, folks, have been bumblefucked. Yes. And if you go to all the social media pages, you can see lots of videos I've been posting and reposting and sharing of people trying the sauce. In fact, the drummer in Sons of Apollo, Mike Portnoy, he just did a little taste test with a bunch of hot sauces, finishing with the Bumblefucked, and it gave his daughter a nosebleed.
Oh my god.
That's how hot the stuff is, yes. It's seriously, scarily
You've injured
hot.
a child.
Yes, yeah.
I think we're spiking my, that a little bit. We're gonna.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
If there's any problems with the audio and spiking, I have some gear to get the spikes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
A despiker.
A despiker. So denoiser, declicker, all that kind of stuff for fixing audio. So if there's some bad spikes in there, I can help get them out.
Cool. So, in addition to your hot sauce, you've been busy with running an Bumblefoot music camp in Ireland. And
Yes.
You just finished your 2nd annual camp.
Yes, I've been teaching for a very long time, and I started getting into doing a lot of these music camps. They've gotten more popular over the years, and finally it reached a point where I just wanted to have my own camp, because when I'm a guest teacher, I'll get a couple of clinics, a few classes, but I have a lifetime of things I want to share with people, and I can't squeeze that into someone else's camp. So I started doing Bumblefoot music camps, where 4 or 5 days of morning till night torture. I mean, we start 11 in the morning with classes, a little break, more classes, some food, more classes, some more food. We jam, we do a concert together, usually for a local charity. We do one-on-one lessons, go until 2 o'clock in the morning. We do some sightseeing, some fun little extracurricular things. For the first camp, we went to a guitar company, and they showed us how they make the guitars and treated us to a very nice lunch. And this time we went to a nearby university where they have a recording studio and a culinary class. What would you call it? A culinary
Institute?
Yeah, well, yeah, culinary stuff. And so they treated us to this wonderful lunch that they made. It's gourmet lunch, and then they taught us how to make different chocolate candies. So little things like that. It's a great experience, and everyone, every time, walks out of there just with a new batch of friends and feeling very inspired, and I do too. So I've been really enjoying doing that every year, and hopefully I could start doing more than one a year. Yeah, so for that, yes, bumblefootmusiccamp.com. Check it out.
Okay, so there is plans to continue it, and everything's been going well with that.
Oh yeah, and I would love to do it in all different places. It's worked out well in Ireland. My partner in the camp that's been handling all the stuff locally there that really makes it happen. Owen Johnston, a fellow Vigier guitarist, wonderful guy, and he's handled so much of it, and I couldn't have done those without him. Yeah.
Speaking of Vigier guitars, I saw you playing yours upstairs as you were warming up and sound checking for tonight's show, and saw you dabbling with a little bit of Sons of Apollo, both from the debut and from the new album. So I was kind of hoping we could talk for a second about Sons of Apollo.
We can. Sons of Apollo.
Sons of Apollo.
Yes. Sons of a Spanish chicken.
When you guys wrote Psychotic Symphony, which was the debut, you were new to the writing team, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, they had that 20-year-old dynamic of writing in Dream Theater and things they've done with PSMS, their instrumental band that they had, also with Billy. So yeah, and I came in and I've done things with Billy, I've done things with Mike. I did play with Mike and Billy together a bunch of times, and I played on Progressive Nation at Sea Music Cruise like 5 or 6 years ago, and that was Mike, Billy, and Derek. And I remember after we played together, Derek on stage said, "We should form a band." And here we are years later.
Sons of Apollo.
Sons of Apollo.
So what was the transition like for you from writing with everyone on the debut album to now you've been touring for a couple of years now, been writing together a little bit more? What was the feeling of transitioning to the new album, which is entitled MMXX, or if you would prefer to just say 2020?
Mike likes to call it 2020. I think people are going to call it MMXX.
Yeah.
But 2020 for Romans. So this time, it really wasn't that different. For both albums, it started off where there was this email thread of me, Mike, and Derek. I would send them riffs and song ideas, and Derek would send riffs and song ideas. We'd send them to each other, and we would just have a big batch of ideas ready to build on when we would get together. And it was the same both times. So I would send riffs like the opening to Fall to Ascend, boom, 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 doo, doo, or the riff to Wither to Black, or a whole bunch of stuff in New World Today that sort of mosh, that whole thing. And the part after it, the little that me and Billy do, and then the part after that, that was all my little pieces that we sort of just sewed together. And then after that, the riff to the verse, that one we wrote together on the spot. So we would have all these ideas, and then we would build on them and end up writing more things on the spot. And it worked out the same for both records, yeah. So it didn't seem that different. I guess the only difference is Derek was really wearing the producer helmet. He wore a very big helmet this time. Yes.
As opposed to the debut album, where who was wearing the big producer helmet?
I mean, Mike and Derek were pretty, they were pretty much like producing it, yeah. But this time Derek really took the ball and ran with it as far as his vision for the record. Yeah.
Okay. I think, barring any outtakes that you guys might have for any bonus tracks, you could just re-release the entire album with you singing it, just as you did there, just the entire thing.
Yeah, and just do a kind of the na-na-na version, Na 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 na, like that. I think it would be a good album.
Yeah. And you guys, like I said, you've been touring for a little while. You went to Plovdiv, Bulgaria, and recorded a live concert video and album release that came out recently this last year. What are some of the memories you have from being on the road and seeing those various sites?
That was quite a sight to be on stage and to look out and to see an ancient Roman amphitheater. That's pretty cool. Not your typical bar. Yeah. Some of the memories, there's a lot of memories, just being on the bus or being in the airport or being on, not too many on the stage. I don't remember what goes on stage. I remember everything else. I remember the catering from some place, things like that. I usually remember the food. Like this gig tonight at Milkboy in Philadelphia. I'm going to remember the deviled eggs.
And I was about to say, you can dig into those. We've recently had their food delivered, and I know this is an audio interview, and food in the mouth is not the best thing, but I'm not going to prevent someone from eating. So, yeah, go ahead and dig in.
Oh, yeah. Now it feels like New Year. It feels like New Year's now. Deviled eggs feels like New Year's.
Yeah, I just finished watching your interview that you did with Everyone Loves Guitar.
Oh, yeah.
The Behemoth 2+ hour interview. It was really informative, really great, and one of the things that you said were that you go to all these places that you tour mainly to check out all the different cuisine.
That's the bonus. Yes, I make music so that I can travel to different places and eat there. So you get to experience all the local cuisine all around the world.
Do you remember what you ate in Bulgaria?
For me, the whole thing, when it comes to doing shows, is just making sure that, just trying to avoid cigarette smoke. That is pretty much my entire life, which is not easy to do on the road, because, ultimately, smoking and drinking is what you find in a lot of venues. So it's hard to find ways to avoid the cigarette smoke. So I remember there, and especially in Europe, more so than in the US. I remember the windows, I remember the slots on the white horizontal blinds, and I remember smelling smoke in the room, and immediately I go into I'm gonna kill somebody mode, and I'm like, who's smoking out there? No smoking near the thing, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that's my whole existence, is avoiding cigarette smoke. Yeah. So I remember the table of food and little snacks. Don't remember the actual snacks, but I could see it all. In my head, I can see the table. But I don't remember the exact snacks. Yeah, that's.
Well, so right now you can focus on the hangover burger in front of you.
This thing is pretty amazing. Look at this egg on top.
Yeah, it's amazing how you're able to grill it while it's on top of that burger.
That is a good way to do a burger. And I'm into eggs on burgers, but I deconstruct the burger when that happens. Me personally, I just don't want my burger covered in egg yolk. So I tend to deconstruct, and I'll eat the egg off the burger, or just some of it, and sort of treat it like a side dish in a way. I'm probably missing out a little bit not having the two together.
I was going to say, if you want to dig in. So in addition to Sons of Apollo, you also are now the lead singer and guitarist for the progressive rock band Asia.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you'd tell us how that happened, and then talk a little bit about the Royal Affair tour that you recently went on with Yes and Carl Palmer Legacy Band
and John Lodge.
And John Lodge.
What a wonderful, wonderful bunch of people, and what a great tour that was. And also, we had Roger Dean that did all the artwork for the Yes albums and the Asia albums, and he was there with all his art as well. So it was quite a tour. It was wonderful. Good 6 weeks. So that goes back to this band that was called Platinum Rock All-Stars, this sort of fun band that Carl Palmer's manager put together. And it was Carmine Appice on drums, and it was Rudy Sarzo on bass. It was Jeff Downs of Yes and Asia on keyboards. It was Phil Narrow, Billy Sheehan's singer in Tallis, on vocals. And I was on guitar, and Gene Cornish of the Rascals was also on guitar. Such a sweet guy. We did a couple of shows. We played in Toronto, and we played in Chicago, and just hit it off so well. We had a great time. And from that, they talked about having me play guitar in Asia in 2017, which was the tour opening for Journey. And at that time, I was in an album cycle with Art of Anarchy, and we were getting Sons of Apollo off the ground, so it just wasn't the right time to take on anything more. And then in 2019, they said, hey, we got this great tour coming up, this Royal Affair tour, and told me about it, and like, wonderful. So I was going to be just the guitar player. And then the singer that they had in mind wasn't able to do it. So they asked me, I said, "Do you want to sing too?" And me, after telling them 100 times and telling everyone 100 times that I will never be the replacement guy ever again in a band, you know, when I was 6 years old and had my first band, and when I was 5 and heard the Kiss Alive album, what I envisioned for myself and what I need to stick to in order to feel like I'm serving my purpose in this world is I need to be a founding member and a creative partner in a band. There's plenty of great hired guns out there, but that's not what I want to do. So what do? I replaced John Wetton. I mean, rest his wonderful soul. He passed away in 2017, and it was more like a tribute and a celebration of their music. And so I became the singer and the guitarist as well. And Billy Sherwood, who is playing in Yes, is also playing bass in Asia. So you have the 3 original living members. You have Carl Palmer on drums, you have Jeff Downs on keys, you have Steve Howe that would come out for half the show, play guitar, and I would just sing when he comes out to keep it a one guitarist setup. And then you have me and Billy Sherwood filling it. And it was great playing those songs and being a front man, lead singer, no guitar for the first time on big stages like that. That was something new, something different. I mean, I've done it when I was in my early 20s in cover bands, doing Rage Against the Machine covers and things like that. Yeah, but it's funny playing the same stages, the same venues as I did in Guns N' Roses, only now being the front man. That was sort of a surreal thing. And it was nice to be on those stages again. And for example, the first shows that we did were at the Sands in the casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And I walk in there, and the local crew, they're like, "How you been? How's everything?" Like, everyone remembered each other, and it was so nice to see everyone. That happened a few times, which was really nice. Yeah.
And how is it different? Like you said, on the Royal Affair tour, they had you have Steve Howe come out, and he plays guitar, and you put yours down for a while. Mm-hmm. How's the transition when you're on stage between being the guitar player / singer and then just shedding the guitar, which is something that most people associate you with, and just holding the microphone?
You know, it felt very liberating. I was like, oh my God, I'm 20 pounds lighter without this double neck. I could run around. My hands are free. Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it, yeah.
Were there any standout... I know you say you don't remember playing shows, you remember places. So was there any standout food that you ate on the tour?
Oh, in New Hampshire, they had this spread that was unbelievable. Like, if you were going to go to heaven, like the buffet they would have in heaven, that's what they had there. Like, the most incredible everything. I'm not a big seafood eater, but they had humongous crab legs and lobsters as big as a seal. And everybody was just going insane over how good the food was, and every single thing was just the most delicious, amazing thing. They had ice cream that was made out of, like, pecan milk. How hard do you have to squeeze a pecan for it to make milk? But they do it in New Hampshire, and it was delicious. Just really special things, and that was very memorable. Yeah, wonderful food.
So Asia going forward, what's the plan now?
If we do more tours, it'll probably be opening slots or packages, things like that. I think it was Carl that said in a recent interview that there's no plans to make any new music or anything like that. Just stick to the hits. That's what people are there to hear. They want to be taken back to a time in their life and reminisce. And for me, that's what I try to do in the band, is just give them that feeling. If after the show people say, "Oh, that took me back," give me that same kind of feeling, then we did the right thing. Yeah. Okay.
So you can stay tuned for upcoming Asia tour dates, wherever they might appear. Be on the lookout for 2020 or MMXX from Sons of Apoyo. And then as far as Bumblefoot's solo material, you released Sentaku, which was an instrumental single.
Yeah.
That was this last year, right?
And I have another one that's been sitting around since the end of 2018. That was an idea that I was bringing to the table, possibly for Sons of Apollo, that I'm going to turn into another instrumental song. And I am just always putting other things first and never get my own music done anymore. So I have that song halfway done, and I just need to do the other half and put it out. And I have a few other song ideas, little pieces that I need to build and make happen as well. Yeah. So there's that. There's also producing. There is this band, this garage rock duo. They're called the Dodies, Dodies. They are amazing. They are these incredible songwriters. They sound like a mixture of Nirvana and the White Stripes, but with their own personality that they have. The singer is he reminds me of Kurt Cobain back in the day. Like, just the music is so meaningful and personal to him, like extremely. And he plays guitar. The drummer plays the entire drum kit with just his right arm, and with his left hand, he's playing the bass on a synth and singing backing vocals. And they do it just so effortlessly and just have a great feel. So I recorded their new album, which should be out next April, coming up. Yeah, they just finished the video for the first single, and hoping to get that out next month and get the album out in April, and got to get them on the road as well. They're a great band, and they really need to get out there. And they are from the southern desert of Israel, a little town in Israel. Yeah. So you check them out, the Dodies. Just look for any social media, the Dodies Band. So on Facebook, facebook.com/the Dodies Band, on Instagram, on everything else. Yes.
All right, so...
on all the Twitters.
On all the Twitters.
Yes.
So we have another... You said it was an instrumental song that you're working on right now.
Yeah, I gotta finish that thing up.
Do you think that you're going to focus on doing songs here and there as opposed to working on like another follow-up to Little Brother is Watching?
At this rate, if I don't do it song by song, it'll be 12 years before an album comes out, because it seems like I'm just getting a song done one a year at this point, which is not good. But life gets in the way. Yeah. Well, not life. It's not life gets in the way. I just always, my heart is in bands, and I'm always putting bands first.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ron, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. I know that you really want to get to that hangover burger that's inches from your face.
I can smell it.
But everyone needs to stay tuned. You can pick up MMXX or 2020 by Sons of Apollo on January 17th, 2020. And keep an eye out for the Dodies, as well as this new instrumental that is on its way from Bumblefoot down the road. But
and the hot sauce.
And the hot sauce.
And yeah, just bumblefoot.com. All the shows are on there. Of any band I'm playing with, they're all on there. Links to get tickets if there are, and all that kind of stuff. So that's a good go-to for all show info. And as well as the hot sauce, music camp, and everything else I'm doing. I'll keep it posted and updated on social media. Everything is just Bumblefoot is the handle. Whether it's any of the Twitters or Facebook, all the Facebooks, the Instagrams, all of those, even the YouTubes, all the tubes.
All the tubes.
Your tube, everything.
Your tube, my tube, all the tubes.
Our
anyway,
tube.
Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next time.